It has now been 90 days, a full 3 months of zero alcohol consumption. I'm here to give you an update. This is the second video I'm making in regards to my 1 year no alcohol challenge. I'm gonna cover the changes that I've noticed in my life, the good, the bad, and any other takeaways or insights that have come to me over the last 3 months. We'll start with the good. First thing that comes to mind is the absolute razor sharp mental focus and clarity. I don't think that my brain has ever worked so well. Now, 2 seconds on the context if you didn't watch my first video explaining the 1 year challenge. So I never have had an alcohol problem by any means, but I partied a lot in college and continued to drink a little bit after. And I wanted to challenge myself and take 1 year off. So I can confidently say now that this is the longest stretch of time since I was probably 17 or 18 years old that I've gone without a single sip of alcohol. What's the longest that you ever gone without alcohol? Let me know in the comments down below. So the recall that I have right now and just the sheer ability to operate my brain at a fast speed without much issue is next level. I've caught myself multiple times in the last month or so, just in the middle of a project or a difficult task, just becoming aware of how well my brain is working compared to how it was working months prior, and just kind of like making a little mental note like, damn, this is effortless. Like I'm just crushing it right now. I can remember more words when I need to use them, and my short-term memory, like remembering what I ate for lunch yesterday or remembering what someone had told me like in a quick conversation last week, is also a lot better right now. Next thing to note is my sleep is phenomenal right now. So not only is my Oura Ring confirming this, giving me great metrics, telling me that I'm totally crushing it while I'm knocked out, but I also feel very good throughout the day, okay? So for context, I'm getting between 1 hour and 45 minutes and about 2.5 hours of REM sleep every single night, which is amazing because REM sleep is responsible for that mental clarity, your cognition, your memory. And then I'm getting tons of deep sleep as well. So around 2 hours per night, meaning that my physical recovery is very high and my body is repairing properly. My natural energy is super high. It's sustained throughout the entire day, not having any trouble falling asleep. And I wake up most days, just pop right out of bed, turn off my alarm, and just jump straight into the day with very, very little resistance. Another cool benefit that I've noticed recently is a substantial drop in anxiety. So I'm not an incredibly anxious person, you know, like I never had serious problems with it in the past. However, in the last couple years, definitely had like a little bit more anxiety than I would like to have on a regular basis for sure. Since dropping the booze to absolutely zero, I've just noticed a more sense of calm throughout my days and overall just less feelings of anxiety, which is awesome. And it just allows me to be so much more productive and overall in a better mood to get after it every day. The worst anxiety that I probably ever had is if I was hungover. You know, when you get that anxiety that sets in, it's just freaking brutal. So I could not be happier to have removed those hellacious Sundays from my life. That is for fucking sure. And then the last benefit that I'm really noticing is that without drinking, it feels like I just have more time and motivation to do other things that I want to do. What I mean by that is because I'm not spending the weekend going out or partying, I feel like it gives me more time to do other things that are actually really fun or even just purely beneficial from a self-development standpoint. I'm finding when I'm not staying up late or feeling hungover, this allows me to still wake up early and have really productive mornings or even the entire day on the weekends. I might spend some of this doing client work, filming content, just getting organized, or maybe get an extra gym session in, read a new book, something like that. If you take last Sunday, for example, I spent the entire morning just like responding to missed messages, doing some client work, and then in the afternoon, I went out and I paddleboarded with my friend for hours in the sun, and it was just an awesome Sunday. When you're looking to blow off some steam, maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit, or just go out and have some fun on the weekends, and drinking is completely off the table, it just makes you get a little bit more creative and start to think about some other ways that you can have fun and enjoy yourself that doesn't revolve around alcohol. Now I know paddleboarding isn't really all that creative or out of the ordinary, but I think you get the point. A previous version of myself might have gone out and drank on a Saturday, slept in Sunday, wake up feeling hungover, and then potentially just not having the motivation or the energy to feel like paddleboarding for 2 hours in the heat. You see what I mean? Okay, now for the downside. So I'm not gonna stand here and pretend that it's all sunshine and rainbows and there's absolutely no downsides at all, because that's simply just not the case. It's mainly upsides for sure, and I think right now the upsides far, far outweigh the downsides. But let's cover a couple things. So first thing is socially, it is a bit of a downside because when you get to dinner, for example, or a social gathering, even if you just have a single glass of wine or one drink with a meal, it is kind of a shared experience with people that everyone's drinking at the same time. And it's kind of that vibe like, hey, we're all in this together. even though in a lot of situations, it's not like you're just getting shit-faced together. But I have felt slightly, I don't wanna say awkward because it's not awkward, but it's maybe like not 100% feeling comfortable or just not like fully fitting in with the rest of the group. Not a big deal, and maybe it's just something that I feel because it's only been 3 months and that'll go away after some time, but it's definitely something to note. You ever been there? You're the only one at the table that doesn't order a drink? Drop a like on the video if you feel me on that. Now, an easy way to fix this though is to just find other people to do stuff with that don't drink at all, and then everyone just does everything the same, whether it's ordering water to drink at a restaurant or doing some other activity that doesn't involve drinking at all. And then you just don't feel weird, and it's actually really nice. The other downside I would say is that, let's be honest, alcohol is incredibly effective at being a social lubricant. It can easily take the edge off, remove any sort of social anxiety or awkward feelings, or just make you feel a lot more comfortable at large events or crowded spaces with tons of people that you don't know. It's no wonder that alcohol is literally at the center of most social gatherings like parties, concerts, live events, etc. So because you're not drinking, you don't get any of the social lubrication from that outside source. You are basically forced to look internally for that lubrication and comfort, or just deal with the situation without it. So that can be a negative for some people, and it has been a little bit for myself in certain situations. But it can also be looked at as an opportunity for me to develop my character, my confidence, my social skills, and try to work on becoming someone that doesn't need external social lubrication. Easier said than done, I know, still something I'm working on, to be honest. Maybe going to tons of social events where there's a lot of alcohol is just not something that's really providing me a ton of value right now. And maybe distancing myself from certain people and certain friends that only want to drink is also a good thing for me right now. And depending on where you're at in your journey, maybe it's actually exactly what you need. Another downside that I have noticed, which is maybe a bit contradicting to one of the previous points that I made, is that I do feel like a slightly lessened sense of fun in my life right now. And before I explain what I mean by that, I wanna note that I think there are plenty of times in your life where just optimizing for like the most fun makes a lot of sense and it's totally fitting. Like, maybe while you're in college, or maybe like just after you sell your company or something. Like, however, for other seasons of your life, it's not necessary, it's not optimal, and quite honestly, might just not be appropriate for what you're looking to do. While I think that going paddleboarding and going on a hike or doing something else that's a completely sober activity is still really fun, it's just a different category of fun that can't really be compared to the type of fun you have while you're drinking or partying, like in an apples to apples comparison, if that makes sense. The type of fun that you have with non-drinking activities is like wholesome, fun exercise, cool sightseeing, it's refreshing, or like deeply enjoying quality time with good friends, family, something else. Whereas the type of fun that you have when you're drinking and partying is more like, yo, this is fucking insane, or like, damn, that was so crazy. Do you remember when we ... like that was sick, this is so wild, etc. So that's what I mean. Like, in my eyes, the way that I view it, there's kind of two different types of fun. And the second type of fun, in my experience, I do miss out on while not drinking. And again, that's totally fine for what I'm doing right now in my life, but it is somewhat of a negative because it's kind of like this whole other category of fun that you're not really experiencing. Or if you are, maybe not really experiencing it to the fullest degree. That's just my take on it, at least. But those are my observations so far 3 months in. So for the positive, we've got mental focus and brain power, better sleep, less anxiety, more free time, and then for the negatives, less of that certain type of fun, and then overall a slightly disconnected feeling from the social side of your life. That's it for this video. Consider subscribing to follow along the journey and be the first to get updates on the rest of the No Alcohol Challenge. And if you're a guy that wants to optimize your life, optimize your health, build your dream body, and feel amazing every day, then subscribe to the channel for more content related to that. Peace out.